I want to start with something positive. I want to start with what happened last night involving the LA Lakers. I want to start with something that was said on the program yesterday. Do you remember when Mark Stein came on the show? And he said that the Lakers yesterday, he said that they were just on another level from everybody else in the association. He said that before the game. Fast forward to the end of yesterday's show, to the start of the Lakers-Cavaliers game in Cleveland, and then you get a taste of exactly what that so-called next level looks like. Because that next level looks like LeBron Ramon James. And that next level is badass. What he did last night in Cleveland was pretty unreal, even for him. Remember, that was his first appearance in C-Town in more than 2 years due to the pandemic. Clearly, though, he had that one circled in red ink. And he made Cleveland pay. Not the entire city, not even like the entire team, but just one guy. And I'll get to that in a moment. But in the first quarter, LeBron was cooking. He opened up his account with a three just over 2 minutes into the game. Then he really went to work. He scored 14 points in the first 11-plus minutes. It's a nice quarter. It's a great quarter. It's a great homecoming. And then he capped off the quarter with this. LeBron, in the words of the legendary David Goggins, was coming to snatch souls. Anthony Davis knew. I knew when he had 17 in the first. I thought, it's over. Yeah, it was over. It was over for Cleveland, but it was only starting for LeBron because he had the full arsenal on display. There was the rain of threes in the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, the full display of power and explosiveness. Listen, last night, I really don't care what Cleveland did for the next 3 quarters. They were not going to win last night. Man, they could have rolled out Mark Price, Austin Carr, Larry Nance, Brad Daugherty, and Craig Elo, all in their primes. All in their primes. Gerald Wilkins, Mike Fratello. They still were not beating LeBron last night because last night was personal. And not just because LeBron was back in C-Town, but because somebody from the Cavaliers organization managed to get under his skin. Something you just do not want to do, ever. You see, when LeBron had a look at a game-tying 14-footer as the third quarter ended, it bounced twice on the rim, and it fell out. And at that point, somebody from the Cavs organization apparently was clapping and celebrating a little bit too hard. So LeBron would not say who the over-enthusiastic member of the Cavaliers organization was, I should say, but he made it pretty clear. If you want to find out who it is, it's not hard to find out. This is so funny to me. Like, that a guy like LeBron James, for everything he's accomplished, would take that as such an insult, that somebody clapped too hard over a miss. These guys are the absolute best. I mean, that is hilarious, and it's real. In the meantime, ESPN did identify the clapper. ESPN identified that overly enthusiastic clapper as Jason Hillman, the team's basketball chief of staff. And apparently the Cavaliers have him to blame, but the rest of us have him to thank, because what happened next was one of the all-time great quarters from LeBron. And that's saying something now. He said it himself. We know how he feels about the fourth quarter. He outscored Cleveland 21-19 in the fourth quarter. He was 9 of 10 from the field with 2 steals, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. And the 2 blocks don't even include this. I don't even care that that ball was over the cylinder. Did you see how high that guy got up? That's a 36-year-old man who's played like 1 billion minutes going that high for that block. That shouldn't happen. That should be physically impossible. So forget calling goaltending. They got to change the rules for that play alone. Call it a block. Give the Lakers the bucket. Hell, give them the ball. It's only the right thing to do. It's the only right thing to do in that moment. But the guy still wasn't done. He was not done humiliating that dude who was clapping too hard. He still had this shot from the logo. You want something to clap about? I will give you something to clap about. That was legit, a logo 3. So I hope that dude was clapping about that too. And if he was not clapping for that shot, he sure as hell better been clapping for this. If you watch that game, you know what I'm talking about. Because this is probably the most ridiculous shot on a ridiculous night. It's the shot you're going to remember from the game. This dude, turn around, fade away, over the double team to ice that game. Like, that's the kind of shot that you take in your driveway, and then you take it, and then you brick it, and then you try and try and try again and keep trying to make that shot, and you never make it. Not even you, Rit. Not even you, Rit. Except, Ambi. Except LeBron does it in a game and buries it with ease. All of this from the alleged washed king. All of this from a 36-year-old with crazy miles on him. All of this from a guy who should not be playing at this level. All of this from a guy who should be coasting. Except not only is he not coasting, I mean, this is like heresy. This guy might be getting better. This guy is actually improving. I mean, it seems unreal. It seems unfair. But the fact of the matter is, he went 7 for 11 from deep last night. He's now shooting 41.2% from the three-point land. From the three-point line. I mean, that's the best percentage of the guy's entire career. So not only is he not slowing down, he's actually getting better. He added another weapon to an already unstoppable arsenal. Remember all those idiots back in the day who said that LeBron just doesn't want it badly enough. LeBron doesn't have that killer instinct. LeBron doesn't finish like an MJ or a Bird or the other greats. Remember all those folks who said the guy was just too nice. He was just too interested in other things to be the GOAT. That he was nothing more than a facilitator, but not a cold-blooded killer. Right? Remember that. So how does that argument look right about now? Has there ever been a take that aged worse than that? 4 rings and still doing stuff like this in a regular season in January in an empty arena. If anybody ever earned the right to cruise through a regular season game in January in an empty arena, it's LeBron James, especially after what he did last season and especially after such a short offseason. Instead, this guy's out here wrecking teams and putting a clown suit on a basketball chief of staff. And it's awesome. Memo to any NBA execs, staff members, scouts, PR, HR, coach, anybody. If you're going to attend a Laker game, leave all your emotions at the door. No fist pumps, no high fives, no clapping, no eye rolls, no chest bumps, no nothing. Don't even think about starting up the wave. For the sake of your squad. And don't give this guy any more fuel than necessary. This guy goes historic. This guy goes off because he saw somebody on the other side clapping too enthusiastically. Man, that's hilarious. Very, very funny to me. And I'm glad it happened. 1-800-636-8686. Not because I'm rooting, but, well, I am. I'm rooting for one thing. Greatness, cuz. Greatness. Achievement. Excellence. And we got that last night from LeBron. He is. He is. Don't give him any additional reason to strive for any more greatness, cuz, like last night.